car, Harab, Ban Yasharala, coming out of the Lion's Den camp of Yasharala, located here in Jacksonville, Florida. And today I'll be coming out of a lesson. And I was looking through some articles and things and while listening to a lesson. And then, the Lord, He gave me the inspiration to be circumspect. And that's what we are to be. Just like Paul was telling the church of Ephesus, to be circumspect, to watch, to pay attention. And that is very applicable to this day and time too that we're in as well. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This is Ephesians chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 14. It says, "Wherefore he saith, Awake, thou that sleepest, and arise from the dead, and Hamashiach shall give thee light." So the Lord is telling our people to wake up spiritually. Wake up. Come out of that sleep. Come out of this Babylonian mindset. Come out of this spiritual deadness. He says, wake up and arise from the dead. Be quickened by the Spirit of Yahweh Shall turn to the Lord. And the Lord will give you light, meaning the Lord will He'll give you this truth. He'll present this truth to you. But you have to wake up. A lot of our people here, here lately, I see things on TV and commercials and stuff and videos. Jake and a lot of people outside of, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans still on this tomfoolery. They're still trying to recapture faded glory, and it just ain't gonna work. So the Lord is telling our people to wake up, but a lot of our people don't want to wake up. But for those who have been woken up, let's continue in verse 15. It says, "See then that ye walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise." So the Lord tells us to walk circumspectly, meaning paying attention, having our head on a swivel, redeeming the times. So like you're measuring the times. That's my next point. Measuring the times, paying attention to what's going on, because we're living in the evil time. It is what it is. We're living in the evil time, and much bad things will come before the good will come. There's some things that's got to happen. Some prophecies that's got to happen. So the Lord tells us to walk circumspectly. Don't walk as a fool, because a fool is never paying attention to what's going on. But walk as one that is wise. A wise man is paying attention. A wise man looketh well to his going. A wise man is hearkening unto Yahweh Bahashim and listening, watching his footsteps. Let's continue. Verse 16 says, "Redeeming the times, because the days are evil." So we must redeem the times. Why? Because the days are evil. We got to know and understand. We got to pay attention that the days are evil. We're living in evil times right now. Bad times. Right. Evil. Bad. Evil times. Just look at what's going on right now. World War III, it's already started. Ain't no, it's on the cusp. Ain't no, it's at the door. It's done already started. It's just got to escalate even more than it already has. So we're living in evil times. We're living in bad times. But let's continue. Verse 17. It says, "Wherefore be ye not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is." So we're not to be unwise, but be understanding what the will of the Lord is. And we must know that this is the will of the Lord. Everything that is happening, it is the will of Yahweh Shai. Period. It is not the will of man or some other we'll say opposing force or entity. This is the work and the will of Yahweh Shai. Period. The Lord said these things are going to happen, and it's going to happen. Sedition, famine, pestilence, nations against nations, people not respecting the powers that be, that's running everything, that's running this show, all of that. The Lord says all of that is going to happen. Verse 18, my last point. Well, in Ephesians anyway. Verse 18, it says, "And be not drunk with wine wherein is excess, but be filled with the Spirit." So the Lord is saying, don't be drunk with wine. Don't be drunk with the philosophies, the beliefs, and the doctrines and the religions of man of this world with in excess. And also you can use that twofold. Or I'll say I won't even say on the flip side. I'll say on the other hand, don't always be getting drunk all the time, because you being drunk, you off your rocker or you off your square because you ain't solid, meaning your mind is not circumspect. You ain't able to we'll say respond or react as you should to the times that we're living in. But for the most part, I'm going with the first part, the first point that I made. Don't be drunk with excess, wine in excess, for beliefs, philosophies, doctrines, and religions and stuffs of man, of things of man. But we must be filled with the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, because the spirit is going to let us know what's going on, why these things are happening, and what these things are happening for. Why? Because this is the words of the Lord coming to fruition, and it's also his will and his judgment for this place to receive judgment. But let's continue. Now let's go to my last point. Come on, man. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 8. It says, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. So we got to be sober. We got to be vigilant. We got to be diligent. We got to be on our square. We got to be on our watch. That's what the Lord is telling us through the brother Peter. Because our adversary, the devil, the deceiver, the one who uses his tongue like a sharp razor, working deceitful works, lying, trying to defame, destroy, character assassination, that one, the bloody man. He's walking around like a lion, as a roaring lion, looking for who he can devour. And for the most part, this devil has devoured 2/3 of our people. That's why when the Lord brings this judgment and things really ramp up, a lot of our people gonna get caught up in it. A lot of our people gonna get caught up in it, and they ain't gonna be able to get out of it. But for those the Lord has quickened, made alive in the spirit, he tells us to be vigilant and to be sober, because our adversary, one who wants us to be destroyed, he's walking around like a roaring lion, as a roaring lion, seeking who he can devour, seeking who he can destroy, because that's all this devil is about, destruction, because that's what the Lord created him for. But we nonetheless ought to watch and to pay attention. And with that, shalom.